971 SAGE 888-971-7243 Larry Elder, ReliefFactor.com studio. We are continuing our commentary on last night's debate. We'll continue that with my next guest. He has quite a resume. Let me just give you the cliff notes if I can. Alan Dershowitz of Harvard called him, quote, off the charts brilliant. He studied at Harvard Law, graduated magna cum laude. Graduated cum laude from Princeton. I guess he couldn't get into Brown. He is actually from Canada. His dad was born and raised in Cuba. Mom born in Wilmington, Delaware. Became the first Hispanic American to serve as a senator from Texas. Ran for president in 2016. Reelected to the Senate in 2018, defeating Beto O'Rourke in a race that, in my opinion, was too close for comfort. His new book is called One Vote Away, How a Single Supreme Court Seat Can Change History. Please welcome to the program Senator Rafael Edward Cruz. Senator.
Larry, it's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Senator, do we give Senator Ted Cruz love on the Larry Elder Show or what?
Absolutely, and it's great to join you.
Senator, let me just start with this. Rafael Edward Cruz, where did Ted come from?
So it's short for Edward. It's a nickname for Edward that I actually started going by when I entered high school.
Right, and I know it's a nickname for Edward because Ted Cruz called himself Edward. I guess I'm asking a more generic question. How come Ted is a nickname for Edward?
Beats the heck out of me. So for the first 12 years of my life, I actually didn't go by Ted. I went by, in Spanish, the diminutive for when you're a junior is Ito. And you just take Rafael, and you add Ito on the end, you get Rafaelito.
Okay.
My father's name is Rafael. My grandfather's name is Rafael. And so you drop the Ra, and you get Felito. And until I was 12, I went by Felito Cruz. The problem, growing up in Texas, is Felito rhymes with every major corn chip on the market, Dorito, Tostito, Cheeto, Burrito, which I have to admit every 5, 6, 7-year-old was very quick to point out. And so I started going by Ted in high school, and I liked it better.
Senator, I know you watched the debate last night. Obviously, the Supreme Court came up. Neither Biden nor Kamala Harris wants to comment on whether or not they would support packing the court. Why do you suppose they're dodging that question?
Well, because their answer is yes, and it's unequivocal. I think Vice President Pence did a terrific job. In fact, I spoke to him this afternoon and told him what a great job I thought he did. He asked Kamala 4 separate times, and 4 times she ran screaming to the hills, refused to answer it. Joe Biden did the same thing last week. The reason they won't answer it is because their answer is yes. If they get power, they are going to try to pack the court. That's where the hard left in the Democratic Party is, and they know that's wildly unpopular, so they're trying to hide it from the voters.
Mm-hmm. Senator, how did you think President Trump did in his debate?
I thought there were a lot of fireworks in the debate. I thought it was pretty messy. I thought both sides were interrupting each other quite a bit, and I would have preferred a little bit more substance and less fireworks. I think in the first debate, I don't think it changed a whole lot. I think if you started with Trump, you ended up with Trump. If you started with Biden, you ended up with him. Mm-hmm. I did think the president's best moment in the first debate was when he made clear that Joe Biden wanted to shut the economy down, shut businesses down, shut schools down. But the Trump agenda was to reopen the economy, let small businesses reopen, let kids go back to school and get us moving again. I thought that was a clear and very important contrast for the election.
Senator, you are a brilliant debater. You have a wonderful record before the Supreme Court. Please tell me you offered to help President Trump prepare for his debate against Joe Biden.
Well, I certainly would have helped. He tends to prepare on his own, and he's got, I guess, his own regimen, and so I'm here and ready to help any way I can.
Mm-hmm. As you probably heard, apparently Joe Biden is committing to doing a town hall hosted by George. I call him Clintonopolis. His name is Stephanopoulos. And apparently he's getting out of the second debate. Do you anticipate there will be a second debate and a third debate between these two?
I don't know. I think Biden does not want another debate. Mm-hmm. I think the reason he's hiding in his basement, the basic dynamic of this election If this is focused on issues and substance and a vision for America, Republicans win. If it's a contrast between free enterprise and the disasters of socialism, we win. If it's a contrast between the rule of law and the Constitution and Bill of Rights versus rioting and anarchy and violence in the streets, we win. The Democrats don't want that. They want it to be a battle of personalities. They want a referendum on whether or not you personally like Donald J. Trump. And they think they win that. I don't know if they do or not, but I want to keep it focused on ideas. And I think the entire reason Biden is hiding in the basement, doesn't want to debate, is he doesn't want to do anything to take it off the personality contrast. I think we should not let them do that.
My guest is Senator Ted Cruz. The book is called One Vote Away, How a Single Supreme Court Seat Can Change History. It's a New York Times bestseller. It's up on LarryElder.com. Senator, let's talk about your book. Chapter 3, can we start there? That's the Heller decision. 5-4 decision. You have 4 sitting Supreme Court members who do not believe that there's an individual right to keep and bear arms. That is scary to me, Senator.
It is terrifying, and you're exactly right, just how broad what the dissenters would have ruled was. You know, the facts of the case, and what I do in the book is every chapter talks about a different constitutional right, and I take people behind the scenes, really behind the curtain, to know what's going on at the court. And I tell war stories of big landmark decisions, many of which I personally helped litigate, and help people understand what was happening. So, Heller versus District of Columbia. Dick Anthony Heller, federal police officer, carries a firearm at work, but it was illegal in D.C. for him to have an operative firearm at home. He brought a lawsuit challenging it. It goes to the Supreme Court. I represent states defending the right to keep and bear arms. The court rules 5-4 in favor of Heller, so strikes down D.C.'s laws. Justice Scalia writes the opinion. It's the finest opinion, I think, Justice. 4 dissenters, and Larry, you framed it the right way, and it's important for your listeners to understand this. The 4 dissenters didn't argue that some gun control is sometimes okay. Reasonable minds can differ on that. We can have a conversation about that.
Right.
Their position was much more radical. It was that the Second Amendment protects no individual right to keep and bear arms whatsoever, that it only protects what they call a collective right of the militia, which means none of us, no American has any right at all. It means the federal government, the state or local government can make it a crime for any of us to own a firearm, and there's nothing we can do about it. We have no legally enforceable right. It essentially erases the Second Amendment from the Bill of Rights, and we were just 1 vote away from that being the law of the land. And both Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden have pledged to nominate justices to the court who will vote to overturn Heller and take away your Second Amendment right.
Senator, I'm fascinated by the consternation on the left if and when Roe v. Wade gets overturned, because if and when it gets overturned, the issue goes back to the states where it was before 1973. Why would that be such a catastrophe?
Well, it's a catastrophe because Democrats don't believe in democracy anymore. And that's one of the things I talk about in the book, One Vote Away, that in the 1960s, the left decided that democracy was too hard. It was too complicated to try to convince their fellow Americans they were right.
Right.
And instead, they began using the courts. They found it was a lot easier to get 5 unelected lawyers in robes just to decree what they want for everybody. It's much harder to follow the constitutional system and actually have to convince your fellow citizens that your ideas are a good thing. And so so I have a whole chapter in the book on Roe versus Wade, 1973.
Senator, can we hold it right here and pick it up on the other side? I want to hear about your chapter on Roe v. Wade. I also want to hear about whether or not you think Roe v. Wade will be overturned.